So today I'm going to be doing a video on the GoPro Max and going to go through, it's basically like a beginner's guide for the Max and how to use it both in hero mode and 360 modes. So if you're wanting to buy the hero or just wanting a GoPro in general and don't know which one to get, stick around for this video because I might give you some interesting pointers about it. So roll the intro. So the Max is both a normal hero GoPro as well as a... hang on, these sunglasses, this light is very bright. Now that's better, I can actually see without being blinded. So yeah, the Max is both a normal hero GoPro like I'm shooting on now, or it can also be a 360 camera, and I'll go into that in more detail later. Basically, you can kind of get a best of both worlds with this camera if you're wanting to maybe upgrade from like a lower generation or not sure if you should get this over the 8s. Like it apparently I've got a stutter now. It does everything. So without further ado, let's get into some of the pros with this camera. Number one, it's got a screen on it, so that's great. The other GoPros have a screen on the back, so you can't see what you're doing. However, with this one, the screen is on the front or the back, depending on which way you... I just say the front. And it's got a screen right below the lens, so you can like quickly look down and like tap it to make sure everything is in frame. Whereas with the other ones, you'll have to like turn it around, set it up, make sure like you're there, or like turn around like so, if that makes sense. So that's actually a really good thing to have a screen on the front, just like a DSLR. You can like flip out screen, you can see what your frame is and everything that you're doing. Another good thing about the Max is it's got 6 microphones all around the camera, so it can pick up like the best audio for what you're doing. For instance, you can change it so if you're just speaking to the front of the camera, you can front facing microphone, or if like you're doing a 360 and you've got like multiple people around you, it can use all the microphones in a way to get the best audio possible from the situation. You can get cases for them and have like mics on the camera, but then if you're in 360, the stitching won't be able to stitch it properly, and then you'll just have a unusable clip basically. Another good thing for the 360 side of the camera now is that it can make any pole invisible to an extent. So the camera has 2 lenses, obviously, a front facing one and a back facing one. So one shoots 180 degrees on one side, the other shoots 180 on the other. Put it together and it stitches the basically whatever is in between the lenses together, it stitches it out. So this is what I mean by the invisible selfie stick. It has to go in between the lenses for it to work. So if with this selfie stick it wouldn't work because it's wider than the camera itself. So this is just like a beginner's guide, so if you've got experience like with shooting with the Max or like an older version like the 7 or like even the 8, you might already know these things. So this is just like a complete like breakdown for like complete beginners that have like never shot on a GoPro or wanting to, and you know, like just yeah. So when you're shooting with the Max and you see the screen there and then the lenses there, don't look at the screen when you're filming because you want your audience to be engaged with you. So if you're looking at the screen like I am now on my big camera, they're just looking at you like zoning out pretty much. So make sure to keep eye contact with the lens at all time. But for like hero mode or like vlogging or just like in general, look at the lens rather than the screen. Keep your audience enticed in what you're talking about. So some settings I usually do for like just hero mode super view, like it's the widest view you can do on the GoPro. Then it goes wide, medium, linear. Like it's got lots of options on the Max, and like for POV it's a lot better to do like really wide, so you can get most in the shot as possible rather than like wide or like linear. Creates a lot more immersive video and makes you feel like you're going faster to the viewers and all that sort of stuff. So whenever you're doing like a POV type scenario, or like trying to get some cool footage in POV, always try and go super view, like all the widest that the camera can possibly go. If it's like a head mount, bite mount, chest mount, whatever, yeah, try and go as wide as possible. They've just released a firm update where you can now shoot 3.6, I believe, or 3.2K in 60 frames a second. I've tried it out, not my thing, it's a bit blurry, so I'm just going to be sticking to regular 5.6K at 30 frames, or 24 for a more cinematic feel. Usually if I am doing slow-mo, I will shoot on the 7 because I can go up to 120 frames a second in 1440, or I believe I can go down to 720 or 1080 at 240 frames a second. So I can get super slow-mo on my Hero 7 and do like my normal vlog slash 360 content on the Max. So it's like the best combination possible. If they did super good slow-mo on the Hero, game changer, like completely. But for now, I'll just have to use both cameras as well as this camera for getting like my cinematic shots with the blurry background, because you can't get really good depth of field with the GoPros because they're such wide angles. You just can't. It's another good thing with the Max is that there's a new thing. I believe it's just on the 8 and the Max. So originally the old GoPros had stabilization, which was incredible. Like, it's basically up there with the gimbal. However, with the Max and the Hero 8, there's now a thing called horizon leveling, where basically it completely gets rid of any jittering when the camera is moving, like so. I will put another video up there of what I mean, because it is a little bit confusing at the start, but once you know what it means, basically means if you lock it in place like this, start filming like this, even if the camera moves vertical, upside down, or whatever, it'll stay as that like 16:9 shot. Same as if you went like this way for like Instagram or like Facebook or something like that. If your camera moves that way, it'll stay how it originally was when you locked it. So basically you can't go wrong. The whole export process is a little bit confusing at first. Since I am an Android user, don't yell at me, I can't actually edit the 360 footage on my mobile like you would if you were using an iPhone. Funny that, isn't it? I can edit it on my laptop and my computer, so that's no worries. It's a more convenient and a little bit easier to use on your phone. I do have an old iPhone that I am booting up at the moment, trying to see if I can edit it on that. It is an older one, so I'm not sure if the ISO will be able to update all the way up to where it's compatible with the 360, I'm not sure, but if I can, boom, sweet. If not, I'll just have to keep doing it on my laptop. So let's just say you can't do it on your phone like me because you're superior and your phone is an Android. What you will do is you will take the SD card out of the GoPro, put it into your laptop, computer, whatever you're going, and you'll need to go to the GoPro website and download the GoPro exporter. So you'll go in there, download that, and then you'll need to export all 3 clips. Basically, whatever you shoot on the camera, you'll need to drag onto your computer because it's everything you need and everything that the app needs to composite everything together, if that makes sense. So you'll shoot a 360 clip and it will come up with 3 clips, a left, right, and a middle, or something like that. You'll drag all of them onto your computer and then drag just the 360 file into the GoPro exporter, and that app will now export both lenses in one video into a video that's playable from each lens, if that makes sense. So, it's confusing, I know, but... So this is what I mean by the 3 files. So you'll drag all of those 3 onto the desktop there, and then you will just drag that .360 file into the Max exporter, and then yeah, that's how it goes in simple terms. So this is Premiere Pro, this is my timeline, and so this is what the 360 clip will look like when you bring it in. It won't look exactly like this. You'll have to go to the effects panel and then type in FX reframe and then drag that onto the clip. I've already done that, so I don't have to drag it on, but it'll come up with these settings, and these are all your settings that you need to reframe your camera to the position and everything that you want. So the pan is just like left to right. That's like your basic frame that you want to frame it up, and then you can go from there. So that is tilt, So that's basically just rotates it. That rotates it. Tilt gives it like a weird small planet. This, I don't even know what this is. I think that's actually a pretty sick view. Yeah, I don't really mess around with that one too much just because I don't really know what it is. Zoom, that's really cool. You can get like cool perspectives of that from like further away or close up. And then these ones just go left to right. And that's up and down, so if it's too far to one side you can just move it easily. So that's basically how the 360 footage works. It's pretty simple. And then for this one I've actually done keyframes, which are these things down here. So they tell the program to move, if that makes sense. So I've put a keyframe there, then moved it a bit further, then put another keyframe, so it basically just animates itself really. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it. All I have to do is just put it in the position that I want and it rotates itself like that. So yeah, that's this episode. Hope you enjoyed, hope it helped, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm an icon, man. And my girl about a 10. I should fuck her in a Benz.